Hi, Amber Vilhauer here, your books and business strategist. And today I want to have a really real sit down with you about the real reason entrepreneurs are stuck. And it's not what you would think. And I'm going to open this discussion by sharing a little paragraph that's inside of my book, Infinite Impact, because it really speaks into what I want to talk with you about today. When I was 16, I chose to use my voice and express my truth. That very action got me jumped. As a kid who didn't know better, I unknowingly created a belief that when I use my voice, bad things happen. This was one of many moments that reinforced that core belief in my life. I misinterpreted the experience, and out of self-protection, I buried a big part of myself so I would never have to be hurt like that again. As a result, I spent the next 2 decades unknowingly in resistance to being seen and heard, especially when sharing my truth, weaving in and out of hiding and bumping up against a glass ceiling in my own company. If I didn't get too well known, I wouldn't have to be seen and heard too much, and rejection or negative consequences would be minimal. This is from my book, Infinite Impact. And I want to open up a conversation with you that's really real and honest, that is keeping most entrepreneurs stuck. And it is this resistance that comes from an outdated belief that you formed sometime a long time ago out of not having a fully developed brain or misinterpreting the experiences and events around you. Perhaps you inherited beliefs based on your upbringing. I know I did. But it's time to recognize that you're older now, that you are a grown and mature adult. And now it is time to reclaim. And you have choice over the beliefs that either are going to help you have the impact in the world that you know is deep down inside of you, for you and through you, for humanity. You know that it's in there. So are you going to choose beliefs that empower that passion and that vision? Or are we going to stay stuck with these outdated beliefs that frankly you didn't choose to begin with? For example, I never would have chosen a belief that when I am seen and heard, bad things happen. Can you believe how disempowering that is? But I actually genuinely believed that for most of my life. Most of my life. If you have kids, could you even imagine if they adopted that belief? You would work so hard to try to shift that and convince them otherwise. Yet, have we paused for a moment to recognize that you have these sorts of beliefs inside of you that are creating resistance? And it has a lot of times to do with how you're using your voice, because you too might have heard that it is safer to be invisible. Safer to be invisible. So can you understand how that's at odds with you needing to wake up and go market and do videos and blog posts and speak on stages, right? The little girl in me that held on to that belief never would have accepted a stage invite to speak in front of 2,000 entrepreneurs. I would have self-sabotaged. I would have manifested getting sick. I would have, a lot of things could have come up where I said, I'm not ready yet. The message isn't ready, or whatever we tell ourselves. But I want to hold you accountable in this moment, because you are the one that said, you had a book inside of you. You were the one that said, I want more freedom and more choice. I don't want to be an employee. I want to be an entrepreneur. You were the one that said, I know there's something inside of me. I have an impact. I want to get it out. You were the one that said you wanted your life to have meaning. You were the one that said that. This is the way forward. We have to recognize and start having awareness for when our resistance pops up. It's usually going to be when you have to make a decision, Oh my gosh, what if I pick the wrong core message? What if I choose the wrong book title? What should my website copy say, Amber? What should the design of my own website look like? You give away your power to vendors that don't even know you, that might have some cookie cutter process for building a website or for getting you on Facebook or Instagram. And they don't really know the depths of you and some of these inherited beliefs and how you operate and what you really want to say, because they would only know that if you had gotten into alignment first, if you did the work. That's what I call it. I have a process called the Foundational 4 Framework that I outline inside of Infinite Impact. You can get it for free. You can do the work on your own. It's not hard. It's not scary. We're not digging up trauma. We are just going into the root of the truth of who you are. Because when we do that, all of a sudden you speak from your passion center. All of a sudden, you don't give a shit what that AI script says that you should say, because you already know what to say to the person that you want to say it to, because this comes from a lived experience that you had. You know what they need. That's why you want to create a business. That's why you wanted to share your message. That's why you want to serve people. You want to dedicate the rest of your life to that. So when that resistance starts bubbling up, I want you to be aware of it and I want you to nip it in the bud. I want you to look back and think, when's the last time, the earliest memory I have of feeling this pressure that is probably coming in the moment from having to record video, but that pressure to say what you really want to say, it has a hold on you from a memory in the past. And when we think about that memory, we're not trying to dig into it and get all sad and upset about it. It's like, oh, that's where it's coming from. It's coming from when I was 16 and I shared a truth. I shared my voice out of protection for someone else when I was seeing an injustice. When I shared that truth, I got jumped by 5 girls that night at a party. And I tell the whole juicy story in my book, Infinite Impact. It's really good. It's really good on Audible if you're into audiobooks. But that type of event only reinforced that I should keep my mouth shut, right? I shouldn't stand up for other people. I should just behave. I should just be invisible. And you can imagine how much that didn't serve me in my business. So we have awareness when we feel resistance. Then we have the courage to course correct, choose a different belief, choose the opposite, an empowering belief. When I am seen and heard, good things happen. When I am seen and heard, I make positive change and impact in the world. When I am seen and heard, and that change is inevitable, I feel so free and alive in my body that it makes me a better relationship partner, a better parent. I'm more fulfilled. I sleep better. I make different choices. I start consuming differently. I want to exercise. I want to adventure. I want to experience how big the world is. That's the you that's trying to emerge. This is the entry point. And I'm so grateful that we have found each other. So if you have found this to be helpful, I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel because there's so much more where that came from. I want you to access a copy, whether you buy it on Amazon or you get it free on my website. And I want you to get into alignment. I want you to do the work. I want you to overcome your resistance, choose more empowering beliefs, and say what you want to say on online platforms, just as I'm doing it now. You don't need a script. There's not some perfect magical formula. Other people are making millions of dollars by convincing you of that, but it's simply not true. What you are interested in, and therefore what your audience that you are building is interested in, is the truth. You want to know what's real. You want to connect with something that's genuine and authentic and energizing in only the most natural of ways. That's what's here for you when you build an aligned business, you launch an aligned book, and you get to have this aligned community where you are better together. So please subscribe to YouTube. I want to thank you for this connection. Go to my website at ngrenterprises.com to learn more. And until the next video, just remember, no guts, no glory.